Good afternoon.
Hello,
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
Good.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, all. We'll be starting shortly. Just a moment, waiting some people to arrive.
I think that somewhere there's a mute because I know I cannot hear anybody now.
I hear you, Ted.
Okay, great.
I think at the office they're muted.
Is that Solomon there?
It is.
I was told that you weren't going to be here.
I wasn't I couldn't attend in person, but I was able to connect remotely.
Okay. Well, I'm perfectly ready to take the minutes if you want me to.
I'm good with it. I'm set up.
Okay, great. Well, I'll give you a rain check.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, we're gonna get started. We have presentation tonight. It's done. I want to hold up our guests from the MTA. I'll call the meeting to attention at this point. We don't have a forum. To start with, so welcome everyone from the MTA and community board members. My name is Victor Edwards. I have the pleasure of serving as the chair, Community Board 9, and we're looking forward to your update regarding the MTA. So I will turn it over to the MTA. Yes, if you can identify yourself and we'll move forward from there.
Hi, this is Luke.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for having us. This is Luke De Palma. I'm Senior Director of Government and Community Relations for New York City Transit. And I'll introduce the team that I have with us tonight. I have Megan Molina, who is a government affairs rep covering Northern Manhattan and the Bronx. We are here to discuss state of good repair work on the Broadway and 7th Avenue lines, mostly the one train, and specifically 145th Street in your district. The project team for that is here. We've got Angelo Demore, who's resident engineer. We've got Zia Haidir, project manager, and Priyank Patel, who does comms. We'll bring up this presentation. Angelo is going to take us through it and give you some background basically on what Alberto Rodin had previously shared via email a couple months ago. The work is underway, and like I said, it's a state of good repair project. So it's basically repairing defects in the existing structure and replacing everything in kind, tiles, Angelo, are you going to bring up the PowerPoint?
I think it's very interesting.
Angelo?
Angela, you have to mute yourself.
Unmute.
No, it's not us.
No.
Angelo, you have to unmute yourself.
Were you guys able to hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I heard you, Luke.
Okay, you heard me. Angelo, are you, okay, you're unmuted now. Are you bringing up the PowerPoint? Do you want me to?
Doesn't seem like we're getting any audio from that.
I don't know.
Angelo,
Can you make sure that Angelo is able to share his screen? Also me as well?
Yes, I just enabled it. Tell him to try it now.
Okay. And if you don't mind, can you do so for me just in case he's not able to do it?
He's still unable to share all participants.
I don't know. I haven't heard him say anything.
Angelo, you can share your screen.
All right, I'm gonna bring up mine from my end and take it.
Okay.
Just give me a sec.
Right on the side, so maybe he's not able to speak or whatever he is.
You guys able
Luke,
to
are
see?
you able to share?
Yeah, can you see it?
yeah, we can see it.
Okay. We see it now.
Here we are.
Bear with me, thank you. All right, how's that? Looking good?
Yeah, looking good.
All right, so I'm just gonna take it and run with it. Angelo, if at any moment you are able to speak and join in, feel free to interrupt me and take over. All right, like I said, this is a presentation that we're providing on repairs, state of good repairs at 5 stations on the Broadway 7th Avenue line. So on the map on the right, you can see the list of stations. We are doing state of good repair work. As I said, that's basically repairing defects to existing structures and replacing them in kind. Columns, lighting, tiles. It's not something that we're making any expansion of entrances or anything like that. It's just repairing the structure so that it's back to a good state of condition. This contract encompasses 5 stations. That's 191st Street, 145th Street, 86th Street, 79th Street, and then 50th Street on the C line. We are currently doing work at 191st Street and 145th. 145th Street is in your district, as you know. Contract was awarded in March and recently mobilized. And the substantial completion for this work is going to be October of next year, October 2024. This work's going to be done in phases, and we're still working out the schedule for the phases. But phase 1 is 145th Street and 191st Street. And like I said, that mobilized in June. This phase, so the work at these 2 stations is scheduled to be finished in December. After that, there'll be 3 other phases, probably 1 station at a time with those, obviously, and it'll be 86th Street, 79th, and 50th. And we'll figure out the scheduling and share that to people affected by it as we learn more. So the scope of work, and we're going to focus on 145th Street, but they're all pretty much the same. We're going to be reconstructing platform edges and installing ADA tactile edge warning strips. These are the raised, they look like Lego, tops of Legos along the edge of the platform to make sure people that are visually impaired can feel the tactile touch that the edge of the platform is near. So we'll be installing those and making sure that's compliant. We'll be installing ADA compliant platform boarding area. We are going to be removing spalling concrete on the ceiling and providing chemical grout for waterproofing. We're going to be replacing spalling plaster and restoring architectural arches, replacing and repairing exposed brick and corroded rebars and steel beams. And, you know, the list goes on: column bases, concrete toppings, various cracks in the platform and the walls, damage to wall tiles. We're going to be obviously installing new tiles. We're going to be installing new fixtures for conduits and wires, new lighting, and there's track work removal, new track construction to make sure the station has tracks and a track bed that's up to standard, and that kind of various work. So basically, as you can see from the scope, we're addressing age-related deterioration and deterioration that's associated with water infiltration into a station, and removing those defects and fixing that up. So this is just a diagram, a cross-section of the station, and calls out some of the things I was talking about. But you can see like platform edge reconstruction on this, new lighting, tile replacement, all the similar stuff that I just talked about to various degrees. We're working on the northbound and southbound in separate ways. Here's an example of damaged subway tiles that should be no surprise to you visually. You see this all over. This is the kind of stuff we're addressing. That's water damage, and we have to remove damaged tiles, fix up the wall, and reset the tiles either with new tiles or existing ones that we could fix and replace. Platform repairs, again, these are conditions I'm sure you're all familiar with. These are cracks in the platform. We'll be repairing these. If there's more extensive structural work that's needed as we're repairing it, we will address that. Sometimes we don't know the full extent of the damage or the deteriorated conditions until we actually take up some of the concrete on the platform and see what's underneath. So that would be addressed as well. Ceiling repairs, here's the plaster work that I was talking about. You can see like some of the plaster work is really nice, intended to be really nice, but it's not so anymore. And we also have wood that's holding sections up. This is the kind of stuff we're fixing, and we will be restoring and then painting. We're going to remove the wood shielding, which is basically up there to make sure debris doesn't fall on people as a safety hazard. So we'll be fixing that and what's underneath. You got this water damage, as you can see.
Yeah, turn off your video.
Luke, we're getting a fumbled voice. Can you turn off your video so that we can hear you better?
Yeah, I turned off my
Yeah,
video.
we can hear you.
All right, let me know. It's okay? All right. So in terms of service impacts, right? So customers can expect weeknight and weekend service diversions, and it's generally in single direction bypasses of 145th Street. So the train will bypass in one direction, customers will have to back ride to get to it. We've been notifying the community we notified at the start, we'll be notifying throughout the rest of the project in advance of these diversions. And also there's ample customer communications via websites, our customer feeds, station signage, social media, to make sure that the word is out about service disruptions and alternative service. And at the street level, where we have staging related to our construction, we have maintenance and protection of traffic barricades. That is the standard stuff that construction sites use. They get permits from DOT. So that's all obtained through DOT. This is our contact line. There's a project hotline. This is not a 24/7 line, and it's certainly, definitely, most definitely not an emergency contact line. So if there's an emergency that you guys feel, there's an emergency condition, fire, something like that, obviously that's 911 you call, and they're the ones to respond. This project hotline is something that you leave a voicemail, and we follow up. We, in government relations, hear it, the comms team and the project team hears it, and it helps us understand what information we need to share and who to get back to. And then the community relations on my team, government affairs staffer contact is Alberto, who is off today, which is why I'm staffing this. There's emails there, and I'm sure you guys, hopefully you all know him and have his contact info. And that's the presentation. We can take questions or comments. I can stop sharing if you want. I can go back. Let me know.
Question, Ted?
It's Alberto, Alberto.
What's the last?
L or I?
One.
L, Alberto.
It's one.
I or L?
It's one. Alberto.
One.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that font is kind of bad for that purpose. I'll make sure I email you guys the my contact. Make sure you have his. Okay. And we're
Any
gonna send you this
questions?
presentation.
Yes,
as
Edward.
well.
Yeah,
Okay, that's great too. Thank you.
Thank you.
is it my turn now, or should I hold off?
Would you like me to go back to any part of this presentation or stop sharing?
No, I wanted to ask whether or not there had been any thought to having access carefully changed so that the door on the platform opens at the same time as the door on the subway car. Because if we had the doors there, that would lead to a safety factor that would preclude people from being pushed over onto the tracks.
Are you saying you'd like to see like platform doors
Yes,
of some kind? Because we've had that request. There's certainly, it's not something that's in use throughout the system. There are various design obstacles, if you will, to installing platform doors, but it's something we've begun to look at. But that's not existing in this station here in any way. So yes, it's something that we understand. People have raised that with us, and we're looking at.
Oh, let me put in a good word for it.
Okay. Anyone else?
Go ahead, Victor.
Oh, so I'm just saying, to Ted's point, this is not included in this project, so there's no misunderstanding. That's something that looked at down the road. Okay, just want to
Yeah, that's
clarify that.
that would be a very large capital program project.
Understood.
This is not that.
Right.
This is, there's
Understood.
nothing new here. We're gonna fix everything that's fallen apart.
Right. What's there. Okay, we have a couple of questions here. Edwin,
In regards to taking in
you
consideration
got to speak up.
climate change. 145th, I have seen that when it rains a lot, you can have tons of water coming to the station. Has any consideration been taken in regards to the now torrential rain that we are having more and more frequently to sort of mitigate the damage that happens to the station in order for us not to continue to have this micro investment, middle investment over and over again with the station?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Water intrusion, especially with climate change and the heavier rainfalls that we've been getting, is a huge concern for us system-wide. And we work with our city partners to address a lot of the issues that have to do with water drainage into the sewage system. Our drains in our subways go into the city's sewers. And when heavy rains happen, those sewer pipes max out. And we are a low point. And so what you'll often see in very heavy storms is water like bubbling up through pipes in the station. And that's because we're like the lowest point and the sewer main is just right behind the wall. So a lot of what we've been trying to do to deal with flash floods is to figure out how to raise or close the grates. They're called ventilators, the street grates, so that water doesn't directly pour in. And we've been identifying locations ever since Superstorm Sandy, which is 13 years ago now. We've been identifying these grates that are in problematic low-lying areas, and we've been installing automatic closing devices or devices where staff personnel go out into the field when we have advanced warning of a storm and close them up manually. There are flood doors at various locations that are closer to the actual water, like in Lower Manhattan, for example, that are much closer to sea level, like the actual river level. But flash floods are very difficult. There's not enough time for people to be deployed to go out and close things. And they weren't even as frequent as they are now back when Superstorm Sandy happened. So it's this ever increasing, concern for us and for all infrastructure in the city and in the country and the world. But it is something that we're looking at. I don't know what we have for our events here. We can get back to you and answer more questions about the fortification of the station itself. But I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay.
So I'll do that.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sydney?
Hi. Thanks for coming. I have just a couple quick questions. Did you mention any time frame in this? Is there a mention of time frame? Sorry, I might have.
Yeah. So this
Time frame? Was the
Yep.
time frame mentioned?
Yeah, phase one, which includes your station 145th and 191st, ends in December is our scheduled conclusion for this. Then we move on. The whole contract's going to go to the fall of next year, but your piece is December. It's about 6 months.
Okay. And then I wanted to know, how do we get involved in the art in the stations program? Is there a possibility or any talk of that? We have great artists
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have
in this
dedicated
neighborhood.
artwork
We'd
in
love
this
to
station
recruit to do
already.
some art in our subway.
Yeah, do you guys have, I'm not familiar with.
Will you be able to hear that question about the? Okay,
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Are you
Yes,
guys
we
able?
can
yeah,
hear
now I
you.
can.
Can
Go
hear you.
ahead.
All right, hold on. Yeah, so what I was saying is I don't know what kind of dedicated artwork you have in the station, right? But our Arts for Transit, let me stop sharing. Our Arts for Transit is Arts and Design oversees art installations in the station. And those are part of large capital programs, usually much larger overhauls than what you see here. And their percent of the construction budget goes towards financing art. Can you hear me? You guys can hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So-
I can.
The Arts and Design program has a very rigid policy, like a very rigid program for how to submit artwork. Whenever there's a budget for doing an art installation that's permanent in a station, it's publicized. There's a process by which artists submit their artwork. The artwork submissions are reviewed by a panel that includes local elected officials, community members, and other artists. And they all, deliberate on picking an art that kind of reflects the community and, various other programmatic details that they want. And then they select an artist to install artwork in the station. So it's a public process, and it's goes through a very programmatic, rigid structure because it's public capital funds that are used to fund it. I don't know, again, what kind of artwork you have at the station at the moment. Do you have dedicated artwork already in the station, tiling or anything?
None.
None.
Okay. So this is something I can get back to you.
One. All right, that's something maybe Alberto can relate
Yeah.
to us, so we can
Yep,
get that
this is-
information.
Yeah, this,
Does that include how the committee is selected? The members of the committee is selected?
so the
Luke?
members of the committee are selected. What do you mean? What's included? How is that done?
How does one join the committee? What are the requirements?
I'd have to get back to you. I know it's just community members, artists, elected officials, other civic leaders, but I can get more info on you, on the specifics.
I'd love to be
Let's get,
represented
Alberto.
on that committee.
Yeah, to basically apply to have that role. And again, I don't know if we have any future plans to put a permanent art installation at this station. You're saying that there isn't any, there is not art as part of this contract, I can tell you that. So, but we'll have to get you more info,
All right,
okay?
thanks.
Luke, can you send me the PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, I'll be sending you the PowerPoint. And just going back to Arts and Design, if you look up MTA Arts and Design, there's a whole website that has all the explanation about the process and stuff like that. You can just peruse. You can get more of a sense of what it is, and we'll also get back to you.
All right, we look forward to sharing that information with us. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Two quick things. What are you doing regarding rat mitigation in the subway? Because I don't want to ride the trains with my fellow
Yeah, I got
four-legged.
you. The rat situation is difficult throughout the city. There's the office of the mayor has a person dedicated to that role. We meet quarterly with that person. We also bait, and we have a trash management collection process to mitigate the presence of rats. Basically, rats are going to show up where there's food, right? And where they are able to burrow and nest without anybody pushing them out, destroying those nests. We are routinely baiting the track bed and the stations. We lock up our trash and clean the stations on a tight schedule. So that's generally our way of mitigating the rodents problem in the subway. But, at street level, if there's gonna be, we're not isolated or not on an island, so if at street level there are restaurants or, homeowners that are putting trash out and it's not in a contained way, there's trash all over the place, it's gonna exacerbate the rat problem that is associated with our stations. So there's only so much we can do, but we are working with our city partners on the issue as well. What's the rat condition situation over there like?
I mean,
Subway?
in the subway, occasionally I'll see something, I'll see a rat on the platform or on the tracks. It's a little
Okay.
less, but it still
Yeah.
happens.
Is this a bad station for rats, or is that just like generally around the whole system?
It's a bad
It's a bad
station.
station.
Okay,
45th, yeah.
okay, this is follow-up I can get you as well about if this is flagged having any particular concerns of what we're doing.
Oh, wait, sorry. And my other comment, and I know that can't happen now, but I hope there will be consideration for the installation of a second escalator in that subway. It's on the,
Wait.
There's no escalator. This is
Yeah.
145th.
45th.
Yeah,
Yes.
She's talking about MC9.
yeah, I'm
This-
about the ABC.
No,
145 on the one.
oh, this is the one, Broadway.
Some reason I just want-
Pay attention.
Moving on.
I'm done.
Well, you guys want an
Deidre?
escalator, understood. We have no plan right now for an escalator, but noted.
Okay,
What can I tell you?
it's been noted.
One more question.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Piggyback on this. You just mentioned that when you, there's baiting and, the closing of trash bins and all of that stuff. But what kind of baiting do you do? Are you baiting with tracing, or is it just the little black boxes that you put there? And how often does this baiting, occur? Because in order to get rid of them, you have to have a little bit stronger than those little pellets that you put in those black boxes.
We-
Is that,
Yeah,
We're
we're always
tracing
we actually are always testing innovative new baits in order to see what's effective, because rodents, like roaches or anything, develop tolerance and they learn to identify what the bait is. So so when you have areas where people are around, you have to use contained trap, like dispensers that you'll see, that's to contain the bait. On the track bed where people are not supposed to be, we don't have to contain the bait in that way. So the bait can be put into, sometimes you'll see the rodents coming out of little holes that are the drains. You can bait those areas directly. And we experiment with different poisons, but we have to obviously within the safe guidelines are with anything that has potential to harm humans. But the mayor has shown a lot of focus on this. And we do have somebody that basically goes around with the mayor's office and helps us identify locations that are associated with our structures that may be a source for, rodents living. And we go and we seek to destroy those and bait in those areas. And you gotta stay on top of it. So,
That's excellent. It just has to be frequent,
yeah.
consistent. That's it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any hands raised. Anybody online? Any other questions? I don't think so. Well, thank you for your presentation.
Sure.
We look forward to staying in contact with you.
Yep.
Only 145th Street.
That's the only one in our district.
Right now. We
It's not part
will,
of the program.
stay in contact with you through representative. We have questions, we'll bring them
Yep.
to them. And also, if we could just note the 145th Street station does have a severe rat problem. If they could be just pass that along, that would be great.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get back to you, just to recap, I'm gonna get back to you on the rodents there. Flash flood prevention at the station, right? And also arts and design. Okay?
Great.
And if I
Thanks
miss
so much.
anything, you let me know. All right? Thanks for having
Will do.
us. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
Let me see who we have online. Madison.
Solomon,
Here,
Ted,
getting a little warm.
others here, which
What's the count?
person? $11, you have one.
Oh, great. Okay, having a quorum, I'll call a meeting to order. Motion to adopt the agenda would be in order at this time.
Second.
Looks like Deidre, second by Monique Harding Cordero. Minutes, motion to adopt the minutes that are in the package. I get a motion for that. Edwin. Okay, so moved Edwin, second by Ms. Dunn. Okay. We had our presentation. What? Mean in general or? Your presence
need
is
to be
welcome.
here.
You need to be here.
You can take a packet. I'll see you with a packet. Has everyone signed in?
Yes.
I was starting to ask you earlier about the art installation. I mean, not for anything, I think about the performance that are downtown, so art is just not on the wall. And I was wondering why we couldn't look into having artists also perform in our
Yes.
station.
All right, we'll do that further on in the meeting. Let me follow the agenda. Yeah. In your package should be the chair's report. Take note of that. I'm gonna follow that to a great extent this evening. As noted in the packet, we finally have a full staff with the addition of Madison Ayala, who's here. And Akil Ellison, who was here earlier, has gone home for the day. But I want to also thank our district manager sitting to my right for holding down this community board office.
Thank you. Thank you.
We love your mayor.
COVID, new chair,
No employee.
right, so it was all done. In addition, you'll see on here, want to welcome 3 new co-chairs. Tina Lumley for Arts and Culture, Solomon Prophet Uniform Services, and Annette Robinson for Landmarks Preservation Arts. So we finally have a full board, and I thank those. Heather in particular held on without having a co-chair for quite some time, still doing a yeoman's work on that committee. We appreciate it, really do. If any of our new members are online, or person we have a new member, so welcome. You can introduce yourself. Your name is?
My name is
Otillo.
Yeah, I'm Steve here.
Okay.
I joined okay, I've been working off of 149 for a nonprofit and who's been existing for the past 20 years. We serve African immigrants, but everybody's welcome. We promote sustainable development goals and we work on immigration as well. I'm a physician, trained overseas. So I do public health here and I'm very happy. I'm part of the committee, the health committee also, and then the small business.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Okay. Another new member to join us today?
I'm Clayton.
Clayton. Yes.
I'm on economic development. So on the.
Say your name again, please.
Clayton.
Hi, Craig.
Last name is
Stanford.
Sanford. Thank you and welcome. Look forward to having you. We have, if I can remember, you can correct me.
Sure, I was just gonna let Clayton know that John Martin Green heads up the task force
For
for the
LGBT.
LGBTQ.
Right.
Task force.
Welcome, welcome.
One of the larger groups of new people that we've had.
Yeah, so you're on both, yeah.
So we had 13 new members,
Yes.
which is one of the larger groups that I think to come in a while. And
Because you're here.
very,
I
I won't give Jenny points. The a wide variety, like I said here, from physician, college students, high school students. I'm glad to have someone from the younger perspective to work with us, and then just across civil service workers across the board. So I'm really happy with the new people that are on board. We've lost some, others along the way. We're not reappointed. Was not happy about some of that, but be that as it may, we'll do our best to move forward. We have a lot to do this year. I met, as you can see, I met with the borough president earlier in July. I was at Double Discovery at Columbia weeks ago, where it came to my attention that in the Double Discovery program, there weren't many young people from this area. It was troubling. But I asked the class of 17, how many people either go to school in this area or reside in this area? 2 people out of 17 raised their hand. So I've asked the new rector, Joshua Wells, to work with us, work with 3333 Manhattanville Brand, other large developments to get more young people aware of that, because it's a great entry into the college experience, whether it be Columbia or another school, working with them. National Night Out, I was accompanied by the office staff. We went up to the 30th precinct where they had their facilities and we got a chance to meet the mayor and took some pictures. A lot of people came out. I think it was a great, had raffles for young people, bicycles. So it was well received. And then the 26 had their national night out on Morningside, 125, 126. Another great event with a lot of agencies giving information, CBOs as well. We went to that one as well.
I'm here.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, Victor.
Oh, okay. Great. Thank you, Callie. You'll also see I sat in on CB10. It was dispensary discussion earlier this month. And as I said in my notes, from what I heard, the biggest concern there was not the dispensary itself, but where they were locating it on 125th. Some people are objected to that. Other people were in favor of it because it's a high traffic area. They want them to succeed. The owners or managing people of this are people who were formerly incarcerated for drug use. So this is the state's. Thank you. There you are. Okay. Right. So now they're getting a chance, which I'm thrilled because we see other dispensaries opening up illegally in the area. And here the people that are supposed to benefit from the state's program finally getting a chance. So it's still up in the air whether they're going to locate it there. I think, I'm hearing, is that the one the state set up themselves, the place?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that was good. We'll see how that goes because that'll affect us at some point. Still have 2 illegal dispensaries in the area. We've made some inquiries about that several times and has not changed at this point. Zip car rentals spaces. I noticed one of my neighbors approached me a few weeks ago about 2 new spaces on Riverside Drive that for zip cars, shared car spaces, which I knew nothing about. What embarrassing. So I reached out to DOT and asked them, I'm still waiting for that list. And I asked when spaces are coming into the area, let the board know, let the office know, so we'll know what's going on. I think another one on 148th and St. Nicholas recently was placed there without any knowledge to us. Question?
We talked about this a few months ago. I know I mentioned it to you when I was that. No, did we find out, or can we find out whether the ones that are already there are being utilized? Because I've been getting questions from people in the neighborhood who have cars in their cars. They have no parking spaces when these. And they have them like on their block for zip car spaces,
Right.
and they say that they are never occupied. So is it that the cars are always out, or are they, have some of these been inactivated and just not giving, they just haven't.
All right, okay, we'll make note of that and see what the usage is.
Email that both of y'all.
Okay, we will check on that. I had actually heard from DOT ago regarding this after 2 weeks of asking. So we will check and see what the usage is in our area. And yes.
What I have noticed in other communities is that some of these spaces, they have electric charging for electric vehicles.
Okay,
I have not seen none in CB9. They're bringing us a zip car. So some of those spaces that the city is using for zip car
right,
in this community, we also want to have what other have, so we can repeat our option. So some of those once we get that census,
right.
we should find out how many charging stations the city has in CB9 versus the other.
Gotcha. Miriam,
I actually am a member of their service has gone way down. The cars, and they never have cars available here.
Oh.
You have to, they actually keep more cars in the parking garage. They keep them in the garages, and the parking spots themselves
right,
are usually filled by. We've had
Right.
issues that when we go to return the car, we can't return.
okay,
And there's been drug dealing in the parking spot of the car, letting you know. on
Okay.
146.
46, right.
Like parked.
Oh, gotcha.
Unless they don't ever have two cars. Everything else
Question.
goes on.
Hold on 1 second, please. Go ahead. Question.
No. When you're finished with the part, I
Okay.
have a question in regards to DOT.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a question, and I don't know when sign changes happen. Do we know every time they put up new signs? Like, I've noticed that they put up, more truck loading and unloading signs, or it could be no standing signs, and they just automatically didn't park yesterday, and there was no signage there. And then the next day you go and there's another truck and unloading trucks, and there are no trucks or commercial parking between whatever time, and it's not happening. I see that quite frequently now up within our neighborhood.
So your
So I'm
question
wondering
is,
do they advise us? Do we ever know?
No, they don't. They advise us of the repaving, but the signage, no.
And what happens that because you park, I know where drivers are supposed to pay attention to the signs, but if it wasn't there yesterday and a tree is
Well,
covering the
today,
sign you park, you come out and you have $110 ticket or
Mhm.
something like that, and I'm just
all right,
thinking
that's
that
something we could
we're
take up.
having so many of them now in our community.
All right, that's something we could take up.
Delivery.
They never
I'll
notify.
ask Lyle about it.
Okay,
Mhm.
Thank
thank
you.
you. Well, right, well, we're gonna see, they should.
We should.
As I said, they let us know about the repaving in the district,
Yeah,
but the sign is
They can't
changed.
park at all, but now we need to have clear signage.
yes.
They've never
Mhm.
notified us about the sign.
The last item I have here is a big item, and that is sanitation rat mitigation program. Youth and I, Madison, have met over the last 2 days, and Monique, and other people online. So the rat mitigation program is going to be in MCB9, right? That was told to us at the June meeting. But we were not informed that notices were going out last week that the program was going to start. So Sunday afternoon, I received two emails from two residents in the area saying what's that pickup is going to change to 6 days a week, and they'll be installing the garbage receptacles in the streets starting very soon. Sent an email to President John Abreu as well to ask what was going on. And I called one of the assistant commissioners that was at our meeting in June. We met with them yesterday. They tried their best to explain what was going on. Not a very good job was done, in my opinion. And I told them, quite frankly, to take back to the commissioner that I'm not supporting the program, not in favor of the program, because we were supposed to be part of the selection process, where the spots would be, which streets it would be on. We're supposed to be transparent, know ahead of time. The residents knew before we knew. When they met with us, they also said August 14th, they would be canvassing door to door to let people know about it. I said, well, when are you going to tell us? Today's the 9th. Yesterday was the 9th. So they took my information back. I said, I'd like to reset the program where we can do part of the selection. We can give proper notice to people. We can choose some of the locations. All the locations of 146 to 153rd. 70 parking spaces will be removed. From 146 to 153rd, not counting the schools. 12 schools will have spaces removed so they can put the containers on the street.
No.
Yes. So, wait a second. So, we had a Zoom meeting with them again today, because they were speaking to the commissioner last night to express our concerns. They came back with the same basic thing. They took one block off of the part. I said, looking at the map, why does it go from 146 to 153rd? We go to 110th. Why is it not going down there? I'll tell you, frankly, what is that area more influential than the area above 145th. So texted John Abreu, he and I have spoken. The mayor's office has spoke to the liaison there to express this. And hopefully I'll see the mayor this weekend at another rat mitigation program on the east side so I can express what this is going to do. 80 spaces, 80 spaces. You have people sleeping in their cars. People are sleeping in their cars now. And they just tell me, sleep in the car. I said, don't fall, that's dangerous. Where am I gonna park? I look in front of my building, every morning there's a car on the hydrant. There's a car on the crosswalk. Everywhere.
Yep.
So I'm saying, this program's gonna come, but let's be fair. And if you wanna do it 4 blocks here, 4 blocks there,
Yeah.
and not 12 schools.
Right.
I walk to school over here across the street. Teachers park on the sidewalk, in the driveway, wherever they can park, there's no parking. Right, so now you're gonna take away 8, 10 spaces.
Can't you put those bins on the sidewalk where they put the trash now? Right.
No, because the truck can't get to them.
But when if they're on the sidewalk and the car is parked, that's what they say. The truck can't get it.
The truck-
Basically, it should be deadline time that between this time and that time, there should be no parking, so the trucks can get. It should be a clear deadline time, but to just take away all the spaces is unacceptable.
Right.
Totally
So
unacceptable.
we will keep pushing forward and see what changes we could make.
Designated time.
Right,
Yeah, it has to be.
like when you pick up guys.
Right.
Edward.
In regards to the parking situation,
Hold on, Carol.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
which ties to this because it increases the pressure on the community, folks who have their vehicle. You see that yellow school truck?
Yeah.
You'll see it there overnight.
Okay.
That truck is supposed to be parked at a depot.
Okay.
Just like many commercial vehicles.
But Edwin, let me cut you
Can
off.
I-
That's not what we're talking
No,
about.
well,
No.
but Let me
You're
finish.
going on a whole different topic.
Right.
We're not gonna, we can do that after. You go, I know where you're
Oh,
going. We're not going.
that's not where I'm going.
I already know where you're going.
Can I finish my thought?
You can't finish your thought. Because that's not what we're talking about. We can get to that. Go ahead, finish.
So what happens in this community is that you have compounded stress with parking. Now you're gonna add this program to add to the existing stress. This requires a multidisciplinary approach, not only from DOT, sanitation, but also the NYPD to make sure that they are enforcing the existing law. So that is, you know, yeah, I know where you were thinking that I was going, but that is another issue when it comes to.
I know it's another issue.
Now, this is compiling to the program that we already have. Many communities throughout the nation have residential parking. If you look around, when you get out of here to the time you get to your home, many vehicles do not have the plate of New York City.
Residential parking is not gonna work in New York City.
Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. I saw somebody from Hawaii. I don't know how they got here. So you know, these officials, when they come with these ideas, like you said, 70 cars will be lost, 70 parking spaces.
Be lost, right.
And I'll tell you that if we were to engineer the existing law, the new ones, the stress to the community will be a lot less and people will be more receptive and these programs will be more successful.
Residential parking. is not gonna work.
Yeah,
Because-
residential parking is something that has been talked about. It might be something we need to do because people parking here that don't live in the area. I mean, they might get out of state. My cousin lives in Weehawken. When I go over there, I have to leave by 11 or I get a ticket. Residential parking. So with this new wave of losing parking, that might be a thing that we can suggest and follow through on.
And enforce the law.
And enforce.
I see trucks, parking, 18-wheelers in our community. You see on Broadway, 0 ticket overnight.
Well, we have talked to the 2-6 and 3. I mean, we can bring it up again.
But this is for then sanitation.
You don't have.
DOT are elected to be more forceful on this and say, you know what? We are implementing this program. They're not doing it.
That's a valid point. We can bring that up at district service cabinet. Yes.
That I brought it up a lot of times, this has been brought up so many times, just to piggyback. And Mark Levine actually, while he was city councilman, had put that forward.
Right.
And then he became borough president, but
Okay.
kind of stalled there. So I believe at perhaps the last meeting of last year, I brought it up. And when
Victor,
somebody was in the room.
No.
Brought it up and they said that they would check back on it. So I'm glad it came back up again. Can we please just like stay? I'm gonna be relentless.
Okay.
And you've been warned. Because it just keeps coming and sort of just
because
hanging there and nothing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Karen, you have a question, comment?
I'm just saying about residential parking, Mark Levine
Yeah.
did bring it up. However,
Yes.
it was fought against by many people because people feel because of no parking as it is, so people are rushing to, you're gonna have a riot. That's number one. Okay, so they're still talking about it, so it hasn't been brought up recently, you know. So I guess we
No,
can.
but if
bring
their plates are not New York, they shouldn't be parking here overnight. We'll bring it up
Sorry.
again.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Yeah, but I'm saying it's just like installed now.
All right, well, we have to uninstall it. We'll bring it back up to Sean Abreu, who's not a city council member, and we'll see what he has to say.
Oh,
Yes.
I'll have it.
On the design yesterday, I guess, are they?
Not in stone.
They-
Are they going on?
They're gonna push it back a little
What's
bit.
the question today?
Question was, after our meeting today with the officials from Department of Sanitation, would they push it back a little bit? They did say they would push it back
So after Labor Day.
after Labor Day.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get it pushed back at least after the general board meeting in September, where we can explain to people again
What it is.
what it is.
Yeah, I told myself, last meeting, did talk our last meeting in June about installing a hotline as well for the teachers.
That's what I'm saying.
The information or something like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll revisit it.
So this parking switch is only gonna get worse once we
It
have
is what it is.
toll. Once we have the toll in place happening, folks are gonna be dropping their cars in our community. You know, how I found out that I couldn't park in Boston, I got an $155 ticket because I was at a convention. And to park in the hotel, it was $55 and I saw a beautiful parking space. I left my car. The next day, $155. I called them. I didn't know about it. Now you know, you gotta pay $155.
Unfortunately, I do agree. Literally, that was the first thing that I ever said out loud in community board. And somebody said, we can't do that. But I only brought it up because I had just seen it done. It had been done in Queens. And that was 10 years ago. Now, I've been, well, 8 years ago, I've been on the community board. This is going into my 9th year.
Really?
And yeah, going into my 9th year, we still haven't done anything, and the people from New Jersey, this is their, like, whatever the pipeline would, how their Facebook page or whatever, they, you know, this is where they park to go downtown to work every day.
We will revisit it with Councilmember Ice-Brayer. I spoke to him
And Justin Tyson is another one.
today regarding the rat situation, but I do
And
back
probably-
on the table for it.
And before, Victor, the environment was not the same. Now we having more and more stressors that is piling onto the community. This program that they're gonna try to do with sanitation is gonna remove X amount of parking space. You know, pretty soon we're gonna have a tolling. So the stressor just keep, you keep cranking up the pressure to the community. Folks are sleeping. Is different. So perhaps back then it didn't work because, we didn't have all this pressure. But now this is much different. And you hear folks saying, we want to have residential parking
Oh, I
because they see
agree.
the need.
You hear some people say it. You hear some people. You hear a lot of people.
Yes, Major.
Of sanitation and not just rat mitigation. So there've been questions about the composting, wherever they're placing them, then they're saying they're far and few between
Mhm.
within our community, and so the question is, how did they decide where they wanted to put them?
Okay. We weren't consulted as far as I know. Just placed them there and you stumble upon them.
Oh,
I don't know
okay,
where they
because
are.
folks are saying that they have to walk a distance, to get to them, so
So they do want to use them.
they do want to use them, yeah.
All right, we will, yeah, next month, additional capital service meeting, bring that up.
Mentioned it, I feel like it was relegated to the schools, Victor, if I recall. I don't even remember if it was in the.
It was
community itself.
probably the report on the containerization, because
Right.
one of the containers
Exactly.
is for compost.
Exactly.
But I've seen people on the street.
Yeah.
To go get to them.
Uptown?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one in Amsterdam, one down here someplace.
Oh.
Right.
And then there's
Yes,
one further
yeah.
on.
My neighbors go and use it. You have to have an app to open it.
I got you. I have.
Has anyone here used it? Cause I tried to use it one time and literally went over, popped over and I was like, this thing is right across the street. And couldn't get it.
It's an app. You have to have an app.
Well, that's I suppose that's how they trash home.
Keep it going, yes.
Oh, okay. At least I know that. At least I can tell them that.
That's right.
Does that conclude your report?
Yes, that concludes my report at this point, yes.
Next is the treasurer.
Treasurer's report.
I have no report of Victor.
Treasurer report. That's me. So.
No,
No,
it's
it's
Deirdre. It's Deirdre, Karen.
So for me, I just wanted to first to say thank you.
What did you say?
Here, live streaming.
Deirdre's giving the treasurer's report.
So first, I just wanted
Okay.
to say thank you to everyone here in the room, those on live stream, for giving me this opportunity to work as a treasurer, work alongside with each of you. I did in your packet, I have a brief statement, but just to get to the report, move it along. As you can see for the fiscal or budget, thus far, we've only had one expenditure, which has been cleaning services. And great news is that we were also given allocation of $20,000 or $21,000 from Council Member Abreu and Kristen
Richardson Jordan.
Right, and as for Ms. Yuka, we still do have some funds from FY '23. So if committees have answer something that they'd like to do, you need to get that into Ms. Yusa ASAP.
I know the Health and Environment Committee has a event coming up.
Yeah.
I guess you report under it, under committee reports. Miriam, you have your hand up?
Yes. I put in the cannabis task force in one of items that we all. That's already coming up. So that when we do.
Ted here.
The discretionary funds.
Hold on one
or-
second, Ted.
Yep.
Miriam's question was, the Cannabis Task Force had requested items that could be used throughout the community board and could be distributed at different block parties and events. So I'm responding to her question now. Discretionary funding is earmarked for specific funding, and it's for community outreach and Spanish translation. Those requests that the Cannabis Committee asked for was coming out of our regular budget, our OTPS budget. The monies that we were promised that was earmarked for us at the end of the year was slashed in half. And part of those funds had to pay for arrears of our rent. So we didn't have any surplus that we thought we had. I had been speaking with Barry and Carol such. So those monies that we thought we had, we didn't have it.
So I'm confused because what we're asking for is community outreach and it's like $1,500 worth of stuff. Like if we have an event coming up, we had an event that we did at the forum and I piecemealed all of the branding and signage myself with my own stuff and my own tablecloth and all of that because when you set up an event, you have to brand yourself. That is part of outreach. That's
It's understood, but the community board has different budgets. And if we're audited and those receipts show that we
so
bought.
we can never buy anything that says community board 9. We can't have a sign. We can't.
Out
have
of
a tablecloth.
OTPS, yes, but out of discretionary funding, no.
Okay, so how does that, when is the deadline for discretionary?
I don't think.
Well, the deadline for FY '23 was June 30th, but we do still have funds.
But we submitted it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Prior to June.
And that
30th.
money was coming out of
And it got cut
OTPS.
off.
Yes,
So
so it's different budgets. Outreach is events that we have, inviting the community in to know about what services we provide. Committee events, workshops, that's
So if we go to a
outreach.
block party and promote ourselves, that's not considered.
That is considered outreach. He's talking about handouts, give outs.
No, that's what. That's
Signage.
so what we submitted was multi-pronged. It was the stuff that all committees will be reusing, which is a tablecloth, which
We
is
have
like
it.
the standing, which is more acrylics with signage, the ability to do the business cards, self-print I even volunteered to do a generic version for everyone, but then
It's
separately.
For the.
Now
block
that,
party.
that
And then
part of it, I'm sorry, maybe I
separately-
misunderstood. I
Yeah,
was talking about,
water.
I thought you were talking about, I'm sorry, correct me, the,
Swag.
keychains,
That's-
okay.
Then there was the separate that we were asking, is it possible to create water bottles or keychains or something that everyone, whenever we do an event, can hand them out?
But it's still for outreach for our block party. Task force. That's what it's all. August 19th.
Let them finish.
Okay, so out of that list, we do have a table, we have a tablecloth, and we have another sign, a fitted sign to go across like a runner for the tables at block parties. We did order the card stock for the business cards. Madison has been looking at programs or apps that we could create the business card, so I'm glad to hear that you do have an,
I'm a graphic designer, I have the templates I like to.
well, Miriam, as soon as we get those cards, yes, and
I 3 months ago, guys.
we put the order in for the business cards, and I think, what is it, Nelson? Yeah,
Okay.
So
Let me know, I can come by.
can we have money for additional stuff that she's asked about? Other tablecloths, other tables, the tall
Table banner.
table banner,
well, we could look in, yes, we could look into a banner,
right?
but
Tablecloth,
we have a tablecloth.
we want more.
Additional?
Yes, yes.
Like, how many tablecloths are you? Go ahead.
Community Board 9, the signage that is Community Board 9, needs to have portable signs that like her event, the event I had, I should have been able to put that sign up and put it out in front. We're having this Community Board 9. This should be small enough, big enough to be seen, because I went online and priced them. And you thought, when you don't need it, phone them up and put them back in the office. She's having something for the kids. This should be a Community Board 9 sign, not a tablecloth, not nothing on the wall. I want to know when I come up the street. If I don't know, I can't even see that sign.
Like a sandwich board sign?
They have,
Yes, well,
they have.
we didn't have this. Oh, well, John,
Right.
hold it is the same thing. I don't know why you want to.
I just don't know. It's kind of like the step and repeat.
All right, so
We can always.
we will take a look at that. All right, I know exactly, I know what you're talking about.
Right, I was gonna say you said.
Can you send it to me, Madison?
I could print, like, price it out for you,
Right.
because it's not just for us, I think
Right.
it's beneficial.
It's for every event.
Right.
Every
Right.
event.
So
Like, you just
easily-
pop
So there
it
is money.
Either, I
Yeah.
already sent what I sent, is it, that's.
I told Miriam if she could send it to me and Madison, that would be helpful, because after tomorrow, I won't be here.
I'll see.
Yes.
Okay, let me bring the meeting back to order. Ladies, can I get the meeting back to order?
Yes.
So
Treasurer.
before I pass it on, I just wanted to say special thank you to, Honorable Walter Alexander. He's not here. We had a success, to the Honorable John Martin Green and the SGL LGBTQ Task Force on their porch committee, community outreach event, screening event, which is great. Miss Marita Dunn and Joyce Adewumi for their hard working and the diligence in honoring those 5 local businesses that have been in the community over 50 years. Thank you.
Don't put in 90 years. Same location, same family, 90 years.
And to the Honorable Miriam Aresti Farr and Honorable
Monique.
Darrow and the task force, and Daria. I do have Daria. Your name is there too, Daria. And to all the task force team for their cannabis task force, event bringing cannabis education to our community in an empowering and impactful way. I thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you for the recognition.
Righty, moving forward.
District Manager's report. Good evening, all. In addition to my report, which is included in the packet, I have a few events to share with you. They're not in chronological order. I will do them, I will announce them as I'm looking at them. CB9, along with the 26th precinct, will be hosting our 7th annual Back to School. The event will be taking place on Thursday, August 31st, 1 to 5 p.m. on Old Broadway. That's the office's old block, the block we was on before we came to Broadway. We could use volunteers. Madison and High Keel will be staffing that event, along with Officer Urena will be giving out backpacks, school supplies for grades 1 to 7, along with high schoolers as well. There'll be DJ entertainment, rock climbing, haircuts, food and beverages. It's a great event. I don't know if you've ever attended one. Again, this is our 7th event. It's a great event and the children are very excited. They're getting their backpacks and it's something that I personally take pride in every year. Also, as you know, Harlem Week has started. It started yesterday, August 9th, and it will conclude Sunday, August 20th. There's a flyer included in your packet with various activities and events going on throughout the month. I also,
I just want to add that I went to the night and someone said that Mary J. Blige might be a.
Oh,
wow, that's great.
Thanks.
Wow. Also, in celebration of the 50th anniversary of hip hop, the mayor's office is hosting block parties throughout the city. Manhattan will have its block party this Saturday at the Harlem State Office Building. I believe it starts at 12 noon. I sent out the information. I don't have it here with me, but I'll resend a reminder. It looks like a fantastic event. I hope everyone could attend. Also included in your packet is the September and October calendars and draft. Committee chairs, if you could review it to make sure that your meetings are held on the appropriate date. And I have also consulted with the chair and we have assigned, excuse me, staff to each committee. I will be sending out an email, but officially, unofficially, Arts and Culture, Madison will be assigned to that committee. Economic Development, Madison. Health and Environment will be High Keel. Housing, Land Use and Zoning will be High Keel. Landmarks, Parks and Landmarks Preservation Park, Uniform Services, Madison. Senior Issues, Madison. Cannabis Task Force, High Keel. LGBTQ, Madison. Strategic Planning, Madison and High Keel. Youth and Education, High Keel. So each staff member has 5 committees and including task forces, and they both will be assisting with strategic planning. And an official email will be going out. That basically concludes my report. Miriam, I would like to speak with you about what we talked about the outreach. And that concludes my report. Do you have any questions? Please, again, review the calendar to make sure that your date is included, that your meeting date is on the appropriate date, because after tomorrow, we'll be sending it to be included on our website, because people are calling about our September meeting.
What holidays are there?
There's, well, of course, there's Labor Day in September, the Jewish holidays, Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. I'm not sure of exactly of those dates. Okay.
September 24 or 25. Just for your own thing.
You know what? Then that only involves LGBTQ and the Cannabis Task Force. Other than that, for September.
September is missing some dates here.
If we don't include Saturday and Sunday.
We only do 5 days.
Yes,
Right.
because of the holiday.
September 5 to 17 is Rosh Hashanah. 15 to 17.
15th and 17th is Rosh Hashanah.
15 to 17.
Okay, then it doesn't affect us because the 15th is a Friday, then Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, so we're not affected. No, no. I know. And on the back, you have the October calendar. The holiday for October is Columbus Day, which is the 9th of October.
Any further questions for Ms. Prince on the calendar or anything she discussed? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Committee reports. Starting with the alphabet A, so that'll be arts and culture.
Well. I don't have anything to report right now. I'm very excited to be working along with as my new co-chair. We missed each other today. We're trying to help, but unfortunately that didn't happen. We are just excited. The last couple of years, the entire time I've been on the board, I've been on arts and culture, done a lot of event related things. But the last couple of years, we've been trying to really tackle issues and or resources, and especially since we were down that path. We also definitely paying a lot of attention. West Harlem Arts Alliance, which came as a result of a resolution from our committee, I'm gonna reserve judgment, but so far it does not feel as if it is going quite in the way that we had hoped in terms of the focus being on this community specifically. And, you know, based on some conversations and things that we said, and so things that have done. However, they are in the very beginning stages. They're still working on it, so that will be a thing that I am hoping to have lots of. We have high hopes for good information.
Would it be worthwhile having one of them attend executive board meetings from that?
It might.
Okay, let's do that.
There's Michael Palmer and who else?
Yeah, Michael Palmer, Victoria.
Benita.
Oh, I think they released her from the.
Yeah.
Michael Unthank.
Oh, Michael, yeah.
Michael Palmer, Michael Unthank, and Victoria, but I don't know who replaced.
Okay. So let's look at talking and inviting them maybe to come and do a presentation, either here or general board, make that connection. Next. Then you would need. Oh. Let's go with landmarks preservation. Yes, Heather?
I really don't have too much to report, but I can report what we've done since the last executive committee meeting. If that's okay.
Okay, you're gonna have to speak up just a little bit so they can hear you.
We had the Harlem Historic Preservation Conference at City College back in, I guess, on June 10th. On June 28th, we had the pool opening ceremony at Thai Bridge Pool at Amsterdam on 173rd Street with the commissioner. That was really a great event. I personally had never been there before, and I love that pool now. I was excited to be able to attend that. On June 29th, the Morningside Park had the gym protest ceremony at the pond at Morningside Park, which was very well attended also on June 29th. And we also had a couple of speakers, people who actually were involved in that protest from Columbia back in I guess April of 1968. And they were basically protesting Columbia building a gym where there is now a pool on the site. Has Columbia been successful in installing a gym in Morningside Park instead of a pond? It would never be a landmark. So that would be really for my blog actually. Leon did his presentation in 1960 at during the protest at Columbia University. And let's also had I want to announce that Jana Short, who was our parks representative for all the Harlem historic parks, she's moved on to another position. So we'll, looking forward to know who the next person will be to replace her. And that's all the Harlem historic park. That's including St. Nicholas Park, Morningside Park, that are in our district, but also it includes Jackie Robinson Park too. And Mountain Woods Park. What else can I say? There was also a, on July 15th, there was an event with the new Columbia University president at Morningside Park also. There's going to be a joint effort with Columbia University's climate school, I do believe, with the parks and trying to figure out how to solve the algae that's occurring in at Morningside Park. So I'm excited to learn how we as a community board, as well as Columbia University can all try to beautify that and try to get the waterfall. I think there was a waterfall also there.
Right.
Start working again. And Savannah Bailey McLean has been involved with beautifying St. Nicholas Avenue. So there are 3 blocks where they've been filling, clearing, and adding compost to the street in an area along St. Nicholas. So that's all I have right now.
The chair stepped away to the bathroom, so I'll go to the next committee. Economic Development.
There's nothing new that has happened in the last recognition of family-owned businesses that have been in the area. Same location, same business, a minimum of 50 years. And the one that did the most had 90 years, same location, the same family operating that business.
That's it?
That's it, because the West Harlem Piers really hasn't required us to get involved with them recently, so they've been kind of much all right.
Health and Environment.
Oh, wait, excuse me, one thing. We did request porta potties. The ladies and gentlemen would have somewhere to go now, not using Fairway as we had done in the past. So they did put it up, but I'm now looking into the fact that this is something about that there's a possibility that we could get them to have a year-long agreement with the board for the porta potties. So it would be maybe 4 months or 5 months from June to October, whatever, but it would be regular. We wouldn't have, and then we would know what the cost is, and we would know how to budget that cost into put that cost into our budget.
Yeah, I stepped away from it. Pause for.
Go to the bathroom. The
Porta
potty. Go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we're not paying for it.
Yes, we did. We paid for the
Who
one.
paid?
Yeah. Well, because Columbia
Go ahead.
gave West Harlem Piers, I think it's $30 million. It's all this money that the parks has misused. Because someone said it was the West Harlem Piers Park. West Harlem Piers does not have a park. The West Harlem Piers has a grassy area.
Okay.
Not park.
So
So the Parks Department has distributed our money more or less all over the place. We did ask for a report. They gave us a report and they were very nice. At the very top of the report, they said, possible adjusted. It was not the regular report, because we know they have been misusing the $30 million. So we just have to keep requesting our money and the conversation. Somebody, fix it.
And
I just want to state for the record, I bike that whole greenway from like
St. Clair's
Marina
Place
all
to
the way-
135th.
all the way down.
right,
This is the most abandoned waterfront park in all of the city. They are they are going up the east side now and fixing the east side, and we still don't have a bathroom, and they still haven't fixed our kayak.
All right,
I drove by it this week, drove by it. It's insulting.
Yeah.
Can I
I,
address the issue?
It's like,
Okay.
you, and I was in Edgewater, New Jersey today, just to give you a perspective. It's the most neglected waterfront in all of Manhattan right now. Even Inwood is getting more love.
The kayak launch fundings have been there
I
forever.
know, that's another mess, but I just.
And we can't seem to get them to do the job that was funded. And between you and I, let's be real, between what was funded then and what that job will probably cost now is another story, but that's not our problem. Problem was the money was put there, they never did. That's number one. The physical thing that we were discussing, the reason we could not have bathrooms on the piers is because something they told me, and I can't remember the exact thing, was getting the piping into the ground. So it has to be, so that's why, because they cannot get it down there. That's the answer to that.
And they should have incorporated when they was.
when they built it,
When
they
they
should have
built
done
the
it.
park.
They didn't. So that-
No, but they knew because the park is at, well, the piers, when the piers are the piers, they didn't plan for you to go to the bathroom on the piers.
And that's what we're saying, they should have factored that in.
No, listen, they expected you to get on the boat wherever you were going, did not expect you to stay there. That was it. That was the
Okay.
problem. That's what happened.
Moving on.
All right, so health, 1727, as you guys know, that site is never a dull place, especially when the summer times happen. Still monitor the situation as far as the development that they're trying to get done. Our housing committee, from the housing perspective, and us from the health and environmental impact that it will have. We're opposed to current, you guys saw the reso that we had. There was a report on CBS News that, basically painted this as a godsend to the community. And Aquita, myself, and Victor, we wrote a response to CBS about this because they basically showcase a one-sided view of this beautiful project, as they put it, without also getting the perspective of the community to get a balanced reporting. So that site, I think we're gonna continue to hear more about it. And it's something that I think we all have to stay on top of it, to make sure that something beautiful comes out that we can all be proud of 50 years, 100 years from now.
1 second, Chair, might I just add, because when we sat in on those meetings with the various powers that be, I think it was last month. And they're supposed to come back, if I'm understanding, to give further explanation as to what is happening. I just wanted to share that. I did share the resolution, which was several pages, with the chair of the Harlem Cab, because I sit on the Harlem Cab. And so I'll follow up with her, because we want to, once again, make sure Harlem Hospital is aware of our position.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I just wanted to make sure I added that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that update.
The other is that we're planning to have a public forum, educational forum, and we're trying to bring the different partners that we have in the community, like London Medical School, and other partners, because there's a lot of research happening at this institution that our community can benefit from. I know that historically, there have been many abuse to the African American community, to the Latino community. So we have that mistrust with these, trials. However, we do need them in order for us to be able to benefit when medications are developed, treatments are developed. And we have had Colombia, some of the different departments to present. This is a relationship I want to foster, not only for them to improve, but also to come back and give us feedback. Because a lot of times they do studies and the community doesn't know what the outcome was. So that is something that it should, happen now in the fall. The other is that Heritage Heights, they want a letter of support to remain on the site until 2024. This is again, that 1727. A lot of services are provided in this location for the community. Mental health, all the way to ophthalmology. They have it. So I think that's it. And we have from the environmental standpoint, what Victor was alluding before, we are looking at the parking situation with these trucks from an environmental aspect. To the PD is an enforcement situation, but these fumes that these vehicles exhaust, they have been linked to cause various health outcomes to people, besides asthma, blood pressure, cancer. So we want them to see that, look, this is not only about parking, but also about the health of the community. We want them to follow the law so we can have a healthier community.
Thank you. On that note, just to follow up, earlier this week, I was riding or doing something, and I heard a truck idle for quite some time. Longer, and I went downstairs. It was Fresh Direct. I said, you can't idle more than 3 minutes. I put my phone on, I said, keep it idling, I get paid. You can report trucks idling. They turn the truck off. But what you're saying is right. I mean, if I could hear it, 5 falls up and start smelling diesel. And this area already is impacted by speed posts and everything else is in it. And the highway, sewage. Yeah, we smell that. Yeah.
So that is our lungs that are, when you look at the maps of, asthma, hypertension, you look at stress and everything else and the health ramification that it has to people. This is what you call environmental inequity that is created. So we need these folks to not only look at it from.
It's environmental racism.
It's racism, indeed, yeah.
That's how we got the sewage treatment plant, basically.
But
Yes,
not,
that is how we got it. It was
Yes.
supposed to be a 79. Don't let me start. I was here.
so not to, continue on,
You
but these are laws that aren't existent. We just need the current agencies to understand that it's not only a traffic, but also a health concern.
No, Miriam,
I mentioned this last night.
Yes.
Climate change and environmental justice in Harlem. It was launched on Harlem Week, and they chose to launch it with environmental justice. The lieutenant governor was there, Peggy Shepherd from LEAC spoke. There's a lot of focus on environmental justice in Harlem right now, on the state. Everything that everyone's mentioned, the redlining policies for years have created the health disparities and the vulnerabilities that are generations and generations. So the lieutenant governor is someone we should get this year. This man spoke so eloquently about climate justice. Also, this city now has an agency on environmental justice and climate resiliency and all that. A brand new agency, his name's in there, Chris Rice. Get him in here because it is about all of this. And they were encouraging that we have to change policy. Not about pushing for a new bathroom or a porta potty. We have to change years of policy signed against us. So that was an alarm call that was shared last night, that we have to change policy and we have to work with everyone. Also, we need to stay connected with them, with the climate crisis right now, you know how landlords, and we may not be feeling it so much right now, but they're predicting that we're going to have the warmest winter on record, that it might be spring-like. So what we need to also policy-wise change is, you know how if the temperature is low 58 degrees outside, your landlord by law has to keep your apartment 62 degrees. Well, what's gonna happen when we start hitting 110, 100 degrees? We need to start thinking about policy that they maintain the climate even when it's hot. New York City cut the funding on air conditioners, just so everyone knows, they cut the funding. We need to push them to increase it. When they do our budget priorities, we need to make sure that they include more funding for NYCHA. We also need to fight for policy. They give people the air conditioners, but then people can't run them because of the cost. Con Edison was there last night as well. They're doing a lot of work. There's a lot going on, but we have to be on the forefront. Like the climate, right now, but this is code red. It's not like, it's 110. It's like, we've had a cool week, so we're like, no, that's not gonna happen here. But
It's been over 110 degrees.
we've had we had 2 inches of snow. We had 2 inches of snow, so this was a really great event, and Harlem seems to be really committed to, from a policy perspective, for fighting all of this.
Absolutely.
You said this was at Columbia?
No, this was with the Columbia
state
School
office
of
building.
Climate, but it was at the state office building. It was by the Winston Majette was there. It was the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce. Justice Tingling was there.
Oh, wow.
So it was really good.
But folks are.
We need to
Thank you.
stay on this.
Last
because-
month was the hottest July on record.
So this is something, if you think that the city now has an agency that they're figuring out, because it's code red with climate change and the environment.
People are looking for parking for hours and hours.
You know, the situation, you know, when we talk about transportation, it was mentioned last night, the reason people died of Katrina, and it's been studied, is transportation. Browning was, they could not get out. Louisiana did not have transportation infrastructure to move people quickly. So that is the reason. All the stuff we're bringing up to the MTA, the water, they're band-aiding a bigger problem. You know, so this is the time to keep on them involved, because they're rethinking all of this. There's an institute called the Five Borough Think Tank that's working with the agency, the Five Borough Think Tank, and just coming up with solutions, short-term and long-term. So
Thank you.
you're
Thank
gonna
you,
hear
Mary.
more.
Housing?
Yes, not a lot to report at the moment. However, back in June, I think it was after our last meeting, went to the HDFC coalition forum, or the new not coalition, the new what's the name? HDFC what do we have? Isn't it coalition? That's not coalition.
Corporation.
Where?
No,
West
it's
Harlem?
the new office.
West-
It's Vince Morgan. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it was- that was good. So the new group that's to support HDS, and Vince Morgan, who, so far, you know, he's doing his job of talking to stakeholders, talking to those in the community. I actually sent him a neighbor in HDFC who had an issue, and he said, I'm gonna take her as an example to learn from and work with her to try and help her out. It was one of these moments with the board and another group of folks thought, well, we legally, you know, done an election and have said no, and so there's tension. Very common. But and that was June 21st, so that was his first forum. Looking forward to more. Definitely should have him back on a regular basis. So just to back on 1727,
I emailed Abreu to ask, what's our next steps with our resolution?
Mhm.
And they said, well, we flagged it for the mayor, but it's budget season, so it's busy. We need to keep pushing it. I mean, it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna happen just out of the kindness of it's hard. We gotta push. So take our resolution, make sure it's for being seen. It's a 12-page resolution. It's very strong, but people are gonna read that and go, yeah, we know, we'll get it. But that resolution is really strong. They said they're continuing. That's the news. And by the way, speaking of Mia, Louis Bailey is leaving. Yeah.
They said it's their time.
Oh, tomorrow's the last day.
Yeah.
I did too. I thought it was the 28th.
As of July, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still here. I guess.
He's here till tomorrow.
Well,
You're right.
Doing electric vehicle
Right.
agency.
Right.
So.
Heading up the infrastructure, yeah.
It's supposed to be like the best.
I know, we will miss Bailey.
For sure.
But yes, he did leave once.
So,
And of course, there's always so much going on. Zoning, you are our eyes and ears as always. We say that in every meeting that we go to. If you see something, say something, right? I haven't been able to chat with Liz, but I'm sure we'll have a agenda as usual. And that's all I have. Yeah.
question.
I just want to sort of put this out as a general question. I've been approached by a couple of people from the community. The first one I actually reached out to you about because I thought it was like, but then another one approached me. And newer people, like it's been a building of a lot of people, a few people, maybe 11. People been there for years. Newer people have come up who have lived there for years, and they've gotten on the board and have systematically sort of gotten out up to including actually sending a lease to someone and then retracting the lease, but the people had the lease, but they didn't want to fight for that. I just want to put it on your radar if it's not that, and I don't know even how you buy several apartments, and I guess from what I'm hearing, it's like, well, now their sister owns it. This apartment is in their sister's name or their cousin's name. And so 2 or 3 or 4 apartments in an 11 apartment building are now sort of pretty much owned by one person on the board. Officially not supposed to happen. Each HDFC is very unique. Some are run wonderfully and some have some issues. This where or new people coming in and the folks that don't know as much about real estate. This they start to feel like they're the tenants versus.
Are they occupying?
They I'm not sure because it's sort of still, they're still getting the people out. So the people that just left, I don't think there's anybody in there yet. But
And if it's not, that's called warehouse.
Right.
yes, that's what's happening. And the fact when it happened to one person, I just, was just trying to get him help. But when some completely other random person told me the same story from another different building, different person, I was like, oh, so this is a thing.
So the question would seem to be, is there anything that can be done about this? And does the community board have any role in whatever might?
I would say we take this again, HDFC Resource Center, that's it.
Oh, resource.
Yeah.
So the office is open in the WHDC building, right, in their offices. And I think Vic Vince is hungry to hear more of these individual stories. Again, every one of these HDFCs seems to be very different. You're on the board, you're very active in yours, and each one has a very different story. So you got to take, that's why a resource center like this, they're going to take every single one very individually. They're going to have to. And I've heard of these kind of, you hear the inside stories from I've got an HDFC on my blog that I sent and heard of Vince, and they've got one group of people and another group of people that, have different ideas of how the building should be run. And this is a challenge. It's a challenge because, we don't all think the same. So I would say the resource center is going to be a good place to send them.
So you share the information for resource center with Daria. Uniform services, you report, have a report to give?
No, Victor, we have no meeting.
Carolyn?
Yeah,
Carolyn?
Oh,
No, she got a camera. She didn't have.
Oh, okay, sure. Youth education libraries.
That's me. One second. Thank you. So Shanika's in here and I'm not sure if she's online. But one of the things a few of the things that we want to tackle this year is over the past years that we've had the WHDC grantees, education grantees come to our meetings and they present programming that they're doing in the schools. One of the things that we've noticed, while they're excellent programs, some of the schools, there are cluster schools that have more than one or two grantees, while other schools don't have some programming. So one of the things that we're looking at is to make sure that we want to have a forum, a resource forum with principals, PTA, principals, guidance counselors, as well as with the grantees. We want to make sure that we're hearing with principals what their needs are and how we can fit how they can be best, their needs can be best met with these grantees that have these programs. The other thing is we're also trying to work with the CEC, thanks to Miriam, who's been on CEC 6, but CEC 5, Pamela Stewart. We want to make sure that we're with the CECs are all a part of this as well. And then the other part is actually looking to work diligently with the making sure information is disseminated throughout the community, even with the 28 programs that Columbia Impact has, to make sure that within our community that students and families are they're being able to participate in these programs, not just W Discovery, but they have a plethora of programs. There's a lot of programs that they have that people don't really know about. So that's where we're headed.
How are the schools chosen for the funding?
So that's one of the things that we're trying to find out. I know it's Hakil that's actually gathering all the information about the school. So once we have that information, we want to actually
Sure that everybody
making sure that everybody, right, yeah. Right.
He gathered information for CEC 5. We're waiting for CEC 6.
Right. So once we get that information, we know the programs, we really want to make contact with Miriam has her hand up, so she's gonna hold it.
Yeah, Miriam.
All year long, like you have to get principals when they are when they are planning their year, which is July. And when they get their budget, that's when you kind of have to target them. You can't force principals to take a program. And you have to understand every school's budget is different, and depending on the enrollment, that's the money they have spend. And if it's a Title I school, they might have more money for certain populations. So it's not that easy as like, there's programs to take. They can also opt to bring in like workshop programs. But it's very tricky when there's all these grantees. You have to get the principals when they are doing that, because getting them in September, the whole school year is paid for. So you have to kind of work a year backwards.
June is what basically.
They start planning the following year in June. So if you want to get them to take on a program, but then like after school programs year round, I'll give you the list. A lot of the charter schools actually have a staff person whose job it is to look for programs. So a lot of the charter schools will have a lot of more programs than public schools, which relies on word of mouth. If there's a teacher, if there's a parent coordinator, if a parent brings something, it's not apples to apples.
Yeah.
How they can pull the thing.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's what we're saying, Miriam, but also, we also get like from TCCS, we also get principals that are saying that we want to get this person, we haven't been able to get this person, we know that there are grantees that are out there. So, in the midst of the school year, after July, in September, so we're gonna try to host this forum, or just try to make sure that we're
We
connected.
connected.
Yeah, we've connected, well, thank you, you connected someone one
We
fifty-three,
got the
right.
like mid-year, because sometimes they don't and they're
Right.
looking. And you gotta understand, these principals don't have time to look, gotta go to them. They-
So
they
hence
are
why we
way
gotta
ahead.
gotta go to them, hence why we are trying to get to them.
They-
it just me or starting to get a little bit?
It's not just you, that's all. It was hot, thank you, Madison. Madison made it, but then it got bad.
Just so you know, COVID is on the rise and air keeps it down. So
That was,
So it was good to have it up.
All right, so next report coming from, who we have left? Cannabis Task Force.
Yeah, because seniors has no representation here tonight.
Report from your committee, anything going on? What's happening?
Task force. Only that we resumed our community education and outreach screening series. Porch Harlem, which was well attended and the participation was enthusiastic. And the Porch Harlem no longer. So we've got to find another venue to collaborate. It's, he said that, Mark never said information tremendous, politically and otherwise, said, but their clientele just want to have dinner.
But they also recently closed.
Oh, did they?
Ports closed, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, it serves them right, no. I'm being, look,
That was a surprise.
because it was a nice spot.
Yeah, it was.
So, okay, so we're gonna have to find another venue.
Thank you. Miriam,
Sorry.
Cannabis Task Force.
Yes.
Yes.
So last month, I attended a Hudson Valley Erasing the Stigma event, which was held by SUNY. It was the same day as our task force.
So
and
June.
It was June.
Yeah.
And I just want to share BMCC, Medgar Evers College, as well as SUNY Orange County. They are all offering workforce development and degree programs. I just want to make sure that we work connected so
Oh,
that
great.
we can possibly the Randolph high schools. Part of social equity with cannabis is more than just righting the wrongs. It's making sure that the next generation in our state is the professionals. Like just change the narrative, that kids can go to school now that cannabis can. So that is part of the push, and I think something really special in New York State right now, this push to get kids into higher education paths.
So that's one, and, there's that passing around. We have a block party on August 19th that we've been asked to support on 143rd between Broadway and Riverside. It's one of our legacy guys from the community. And he just asked us if we were in education, share who we are so that, you know, he's gotten to know us and us that this. So he just wants us to be present in the community that day and bring resources. I've invited CUNY, we're gonna have Just Us Foundation, I are kind of working on it. Our president asked Sean Abreu to maybe help with tables or anything. Kind of change the conversation on that particular. Campus, so that there's a lot more than self.
What block did you say, one?
143rd, between Broadway and Riverside. That'll be August 19th, weather permitting. The DJ.
What time?
It's all day.
Okay.
He has to check on his permit still. We put it in.
That's next Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
And if I could just add, this guy is. He is like the poster child for what we're fighting for in cannabis, which is getting the word out to the people and sort of living under the radar. And now they can go. And he is really, I met him, I don't know if you know before, thanks to our conference at the forum. He is dug in. When I went to Community Board 10's event, he was there. When I went to the borough president's thing, I realized I met him there. He's been everywhere, and he is one of these people that, you know, he was a corner boy, but well respected, and he's been having this block party for the community for years.
Yeah.
And now he can do it a different way and partner with the community board. So I'm really hoping that we can support him you know, with attendance and with, that's why we keep asking for the stuff. Because we want, you know, we want to be visible, you know what I mean? We want him to be able to come in and not feel like the outsider.
That's correct.
Because he is doing all the things right, everything that we, you know, hope to be spreading with this whole legalization, he is doing that.
And
That's
Happy
encouraging.
Monkey got their license, by the way.
Yeah.
They got their core application, they were approved.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Very good. Wonderful.
They are going legal.
I would like just to piggyback on two other things. So I mentioned with my other committee members, the need for us to have rules and regulations, because as Miriam has stated, the train is coming down the track very fast. We know that hopefully other legal dispensaries will come into our community. And so, you know, we've drafted rules and regulations, and we've shared them with the Economic Development Committee, as well as reached out to Uniform Services as well. And we feel with those two committees, it's important to get the feedback and buy-in so that we develop the product, something that we're all on the same page on, because once again, when this happens, when we get our first dispensary and it's coming, we want to be able to have a say in terms of what we expect. And we don't want to be behind the 8 ball.
What
So
we created is guidelines and
Yeah.
for the board when someone comes to the board, questions that you steering that you can hold when your license is up for renewal. This is what all the other merchants going downtown. It's like a license. It's going to look for, like, were they good neighbors? Did they consume on site and disturb the neighbors in the building? Because these are things that are happening with legal dispensaries right now.
So I just mentioned it because I did submit it to these committees, and I'm gonna resubmit it. So we can have time to go over it, because besides talking about how we want to govern these new entities coming on board, that's one thing. The other thing too, and then go back to economic development, we talked about the marine transfer station. We also want to tie into that as we talk about development of our community, taking advantage of opportunities as it relates to cannabis. We got some really great feedback from a former committee member, Jonathan, and we want to look at revisiting what we can do with the marine transfer station and make that an educational hub where we can have some development and other things happening. And so, let me finish my comment. So we want to revisit speaking with these committees and just have a conversation and make sure we're all on the same page. So those were my comments to add to everything else that's been said. I felt like there was one more thing, but I don't want to hold this up. Go ahead, Maria.
The marine transfer station is no longer with sanitation fund. And I can't, I know they sent some of those, I don't know who has it, the bottom line
It
is.
was parks, right?
EDC.
No. No, it didn't go to
It is with the EDC.
the marine transfer station, when did it go?
Been there some time. They had a
Couple of
meeting.
months, maybe?
Remember last
I
month?
had no. I didn't have that because I did know
Short
that.
Rails office, the EDC rep, Ortez. Oh God, I can't think of his first name.
Well, basically, I did reach out again.
So
I'm sorry, to the MTP people. Because I don't have time to play around if you don't have the money. And they have the money. So then I went back to them to see, because some of you were present when they made their presentation.
Right.
And they had everything covered. I went back to them again to see if they were still interested and still had enough money. Because that's the way I function. I'm not your friend, I'm about business. So you got the money, fine. They said, yes, they were still interested. Now, if we're going to start with throwing out a request for everybody to apply for this, I'm not gonna bother them anymore. Either we're gonna approve them or I'm gonna tell them forget it. Because I brought them, I can tell them to forget it. That's it.
And the design that they proposed involved something of a community educational hub.
Right.
Take to the next level. This, the foundation. No, I'm saying the foundation is there, so we just want to move on it. So,
You
yeah.
guys have to vote yes on it. You have to get a letter of support to it. Then it goes to economic development. But because that's what it is, because that'll bring the ferry boat, they brought the ferry in. And with Columbia expanding and their local people moving to Jersey, if they get any closer, they'll be able to walk across the Hudson River, because I watched them very carefully. But the ferry would come from there right to 133rd Street. So hello.
So let's make it happen.
Okay.
And then I want to add EAC, because EAC was a thought as well in terms of revisiting the marine transfer station.
They approved it, right?
So,
Right.
so here we, so we're gonna make it happen.
All right.
Okay.
Let
There
me
you
know,
go.
I'll call you back.
Very good. Miriam, do you want to say anything? Sorry,
Yeah.
we're almost done.
Yeah.
Huh?
Money, wanting me to
We're
say, I'm
almost done.
taking a leave fast. 1 year.
That's-
This is my
You
last-
can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't. No, we decided to understand.
I'm actually going back to school and I'm going to the New School for Social Research. I'm actually getting my bachelor's of science, which I
See you.
abandoned ship 30 years ago, and I'm so close to getting going to master's program.
Rabbi Diva, Rabbi,
I want to do this.
go ahead, go ahead.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Still call you if we need you, right?
More importantly, the
Still
new
see.
school, when I told them I'm part of the community board of 9, they're doing incredible work and research and community things way more than Columbia. And they would love to meet guys and talk. And who
Great.
knows?
All right.
It's
Let's
another connection.
make the connection. Thank you.
I was floored by their programming and.
She was.
Can you repeat what you just said now? So the new school for social research, that's where I'll be going. And when I mentioned I'm on Community Board 9, they were all very excited because it is a very research-driven school and policy driven on many social justice initiatives. It's very opposite of Columbia University. They are very community and social justice driven, and they would love to work with us probably on anything.
Wonderful.
I will bring them in here whenever.
Please.
Yes.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
Let's move the agenda.
We're moving. Okay, I'll see you.
She's
on the
on
block.
leave.
See you on the block. Carolyn, you there?
Miriam, give me a call tomorrow.
Liquor licenses,
I'm sorry,
liquor licenses?
I only have the two that I sent you that were both approved.
It's
One
six,
I'm still
Carolyn.
waiting- One,
Is six.
Carolyn
listed.
is,
go ahead.
Not here.
I can't hear you.
it's 3 renewals and 3
Renewal.
new
3
applications.
renewals and 3 new applications.
Yeah, but two have been approved. The third one, I have not heard from the 26th precinct.
Okay, that's 3. There's 6 altogether.
Yeah,
Carol.
but which is
I
which?
haven't got the other 3,
6 total.
right, but I haven't seen 3 others.
Oh, so
Okay, which have we seen?
Three,
which have you seen?
Okay, hold on a minute, let me get them. Hold on,
Which ones have been approved?
let me get them. Hold on. Sent me the daggone email, I didn't have to go through it.
Okay,
All right, hurry up.
That group that wanted to do a Ferris wheel and boat ride.
That was not approved. Not a
Right,
that's
so
all
we-
there.
we shut that up.
That was
That down.
never, ever approved. They went to the Parks Committee, who didn't know anything about it,
Yeah.
and they never came to the West Hall. Okay, there's not gonna be no.
Yeah, no.
So let me
that was
correct
shut.
this.
Oh, no.
Let me correct the statement. They've gone past us. And it might be approved by the city.
mhm.
Well, nobody told me they went past us because we definitely.
But they never
It
came.
was,
to
they
us.
never came to us. It was an article.
No,
that we
they went
saw.
to our park and then the park, because that's what I got from them. They didn't have to come to the
They've
West
gone
Hall.
around us.
Yes.
They've gone
Oh,
around us.
so
Trust
it's
me.
gonna be.
And we spoke to them about not notifying us of their intentions further after they discussed it with us. And
I saw it on
I
the
am
news.
part of
yeah,
That's the first place I saw it.
Oh,
Ferris wheel and a boat. Ferris wheel and,
yeah.
I did not know, let me get involved here.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Go get them over
it's a
here.
done
Go
deal.
get 'em.
I don't know if it's done, but I know that they're moving forward. Yeah, and he was
You know,
also.
I've been on it since 1993.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was.
Uptown.
Put a Ferris wheel and a boat.
What, a Ferris?
On
wheel?
the east side.
That was, yeah, the boat was.
The boat, the community board gave a letter of
Yes.
support. And then they added the Ferris wheel. That's what they did not notify the
No, no,
board.
no, no, the boat, when they did it was only the boat, then they came back with the Ferris wheel and another boat, so there's 2 boats. So we only approved 1 boat.
Right, we have to-
Carolyn, you still looking for the action item?
No, I got it. Yeah, I have it. I have it, user.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you have?
And Anna Nassler was approved. Located at 3630 Broadway. That was approved by the
What is it
30th.
called?
Which one?
And Blessed Bar
What?
was approved.
I don't see that.
This is-
The one
Can
for
she
the-
give addresses, please? Are there addresses, Carolyn?
Go ahead.
Yes. 3660 Broadway, that's the Anamessa Restaurant was approved. And Blessed Bar was approved at 3498 Broadway.
Oh, bless it.
That was last month.
The one for
June.
126,
What's the difference?
Officer Canales has never gotten back to me. I've reached out to her 3 times.
All right.
So the other thing
You
that
have- you
I
have
have
the
never
bus stop.
received. Yeah, I didn't get
You
that.
have the,
Okay, tell
No.
us who she's got.
okay, tell us what you got. They're
Okay.
not on there.
Right.
Okay.
All right,
Right. She never
So the
sent me
six,
the other
the
3.
6 that are on the agenda, Carolyn, they'll be carried over for September. Madison will be in touch with you so that you can go review each one and you can
Okay.
vet it with the appropriate
Okay.
police precinct.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When are we going to implement the form that we have for liquor licenses?
Committee has
I have
to,
to take a look at
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Okay.
We did
Yeah.
already.
it's
We
been
did.
updated
We went over that.
with the comments that was received from the various board members. High Keel has been working on it and all the updates have been made and it's just now waiting on the committee.
So the committee responded, like I said, if they did not agree with it because the application that answered that was already answered by the applicant. Many of the applicants that we spoke to said they're not going to do it again because the answers have already been done.
All right,
But
we'll
the
take a look at it together.
Also, youth, I need to speak to you.
Carolyn, this is something that at other community boards, they do it.
It's an application like the SAPO application, Karen.
I know.
Like
I
in
know
a
what it
street
is.
co-naming. It's the same.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know what it is. But then I have to speak to you too about emails that I don't get.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a look at it. Anything else? Any other questions?
Mhm.
Comment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
new business.
Are we with where? Right.
I do have someone in vacation I asked about the onboard for the new members. Are we still having something on that? Onboarding, yes.
Like orientation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's another term.
Okay,
We know. what
yeah.
we're talking about. The borough president, I think they were having, you did that. Okay. Now,
For us.
yeah, and internally for the board, we haven't decided on the date yet. So you didn't miss it.
No, you
I
didn't.
think I indicated that in the email. You didn't miss it. Yes, yes.
I'm like, I'm done.
Holding our committee meetings in person here?
In person in this office, and if it's a night where 2 meetings meet at the same time, the smaller group will meet next door.
Okay, and if we intend or expect we might have large groups.
Well, then we have to be, yeah, if this room can accommodate, then we'll have to outsource. That's, well, we can fit 25 people in here. Yeah, so it's just a matter of being aware, we can move this table against the window and set up chairs, like we did for the senior resource. We can definitely fit 25, 30 people in this room.
So
It just won't be around the
It's
conference
normally
table.
us and youth and education on the same night, is that
Right.
right?
Yes,
So do you and I have to kind of coordinate, and figure out who's going where?
Have they provided any guidance as to folks who might be symptomatic for COVID, positive for
I need you to dictate the meeting.
COVID, and the quarantine that we're gonna have, how long, would anybody here feel comfortable? Am I saying this because in school, there's a policy for this, and at the hospital too. And what we don't want is to then have members who feel they have to be in person. Thankfully, we're keeping the hybrid, but we should make it very well known that if you have any of these symptoms, please do not attend. You might be taking whatever,
Right.
that makes it more susceptible.
Don't
I
feel
mean,
bad about not coming in person.
Exactly, because I don't.
People don't understand here, so.
Yes, because
They feel
we don't
noble for going.
Right.
The point well taken.
Knock it over
this?
Yes.
Don't feel noble, right?
Yeah, so I think that in the message, I don't know if the borough president has something. If they don't,
Good check, yeah.
we can work something internally for MCB9 and we can get it approved, with a, general board. I can help with that type of policy, just so we can make sure that everyone feels safe.
They say,
And
yeah.
we are
makes
safe.
sense.
We passed guidelines for the open meetings law, and Barry
Yes,
sent it out, yeah.
So
Well, I
just,
think it is very important. I want to know what you just said. I don't want to see you on the, because how I look on my life is a high looking person, trust.
that
But
is.
I just went back
that-
out again today, Edwin, I mean, Cornell just did it again.
Yeah.
Very much saying that absolutely because of the uptick.
Right.
Now we're
Yeah.
back in your math
Yeah.
and certain areas, if you
Yeah.
don't feel good, don't come.
Very true.
So, I mean. The hospital, we're taking this very serious.
Yeah.
We're seeing patients coming in, and we don't want people here to get sick.
Okay, last question.
Is this new business?
Yeah.
Did you mention the quality?
Yeah.
Our new chair, has given me the honor, actually, of having a subcommittee for quality of life. We have talked about so many things today. The thing in particular, I'm always talking about the tree. I like flowers and trees, moving the tree guards, and my block tends to be concentration of our new drug users. And so I just kept bringing things, and I was like, we should possibly talk about quality of life. There's only so many of us, and there's a lot of meetings, and I said, okay, I'll do it. Wanted to mention, we're still figuring out exactly what it is, exactly when we'll meet and that sort of thing. But I will be, working along with all of the chairs just to see how I can support how we can double team.
Sounds like a task force. right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations and thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do we have any old business?
If you look at 311 data.
We're still talking in new business.
That is the number one, 311 complaint, so, welcome onto the environmental offset. You can have also data-driven approach, the issue that people are reporting to 311.
Thank you, everyone. Let me end on a couple of notes. Trying to develop a survey, working with Madison actually on people's priorities in the community. What I was asked by the Honorable Daria Hardiman during my swearing in, more or less, what are my priorities? My priorities are the community's priorities. I have my own: housing, quality of life, crime, education, things. But we're trying to develop a survey to send out to people. Paper, by email, to see what theirs are. So we're still working on it. If you have questions you think that would be legitimate to your committee to add, please send them to us so we can add them to this survey. Secondly, on the table, there should be a flyer about e-bikes. The Honorable Eric Adams is he started a pilot program to have e-bikes and electric scooters use the greenways, right?
Oh.
Yes, started May. The greenway runs, along the Hudson River, right?
It's a walking path.
It's a walking path.
Along the
And inside the park.
And inside some of the parks. So in order to combat this, we must take the survey and say, this is what we feel should be done. I ride the Greenway 2-3 times a week. I ride from the GW Bridge, Chelsea Pier, or the Seaport. Some of those guys go by me so fast. And I've seen 2 accidents, bloody accidents already. They belong on the street, not on the walk. Oh, yeah. So, right, so as you leave, pick up a flyer, please spread it with your neighbors, because there's gonna come a time, they're gonna say, well, we did a survey and everyone said they wanted it. So if you don't speak up, not heard, all right?
Are we still doing old business?
No, I'm giving comments to him.
I just have a quick question. No, this is the.
That's the letter.
Oh, we can?
Yeah.
Had I been, yeah, I would have.
Okay. Okay, so you can.
The other two.
Yeah.
Is it a flyer with a QR?
9 o'clock.
So that flyer, we can have it with a QR code, so wherever you post it, post can just,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
great.
So that, nobody's gonna. Type that address.
Yes.
A little label.
You're right, QR code.
Thank
would be
you,
helpful. I didn't know that. I'll
Yeah.
take you.
Oh, God.
So you can take a few to share with your neighbor. Don't just take one.
You can do the QR code? Oh,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
Take me a
And
second.
then let's just pass them out to our neighbors, email them, text.
Yes,
In the PDF.
Once-
should be in
Oh,
there.
great.
once Edwin creates the QR code, we'll send it out electronically.
Yeah.
Do we
You can probably use it
do we have the ability to do
electronic
that in the
file.
office? Maybe QR code?
Edwin. Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the technology.
Do you have the technology to do QR codes
Oh,
on
yeah.
other things?
I can help her out.
Oh, okay.
Edwin just shared with me, yes.
Okay. All right.
So the last two comments and then we can close because it is
Mhm.
late. One of the things I've spoken about in the past is meeting people where they are. So and that means holding meetings somewhere else sometime. We've done, Boys and Girls Club.
Just came from there.
So let's think about, maybe we'll do Manhattanville, the community center, Grant Community Center, whatever relates to your community. Let's meet people where they are. And we might even change the location of some of the general board meetings. Maybe we'll go to the Forest, Prince Hall
Mhm.
on 155th. Maybe we'll do Columbia down at 110.
Yeah.
Get people from those areas to come to the meeting. So just something to think about.
Yes.
That's
Right.
great.
Just- Okay.
community engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good night.
Okay.
That's good.
And that was kind of, I think, all the things quality of life, erratic mitigation. Yeah, those are the kind of things on the top of my mind.
I move we adjourn.
Hold on, Ted.
Hold on, Ted.
All right. I think one of the things that I have found is that a lot of people do not understand what or why there is a community. We need to really stop and have a set thing. This is what a community board, this is why we have it. And another thing people do not understand is the power the board has. And as long as we don't push it, we're going to lose the power.
Madison, do you have the
Done.
flyer?
We ain't got no power.
We- we-
I agree, which is why that the city was okay with giving us shorter term limits.
So
They don't realize
one of the
that-
things we did look at was a flyer that explains who we are. And it'll say, we are your new neighbors.
And our,
This is excellent.
our committee,
Well, no, that's the first step. That's the first step.
our committee created an FAQ and information about the housing committee directly, and I think I mentioned it with before in the meeting that every committee should consider doing that, frequent
Good
asked
idea.
questions and what issues you're working on currently, or, you get the same question over and over, right? And I know I agree, and it's nice to have something, give someone to say,
Right.
here you go.
So
This is very.
And we should put all of this information on the kiosk.
Yeah.
The flyer, the flyer is very 20th century.
Right.
Yeah.
Kiosks are the wave of the future. No, I'm not saying, I'm not.
You already said it.
In addition.
Ah.
Right, but I.
Those kiosks, I say,
Like NYC, yeah, the links. Yeah, and we can use those for free.
So we're gonna, to begin with, we have this be outside the office door, trying to get lettering so people can see who we are. We started putting up flyers for the community on the windows, so people know who we are. And like I said, yeah,
We're looking
We're
into
looking
an
into that.
awning, yeah.
Quickly. Can we just put where we are? Our location, like one tenth to the,
Okay,
I think
we
that
can do
should
that.
go on here.
We
The
can-
Lincoln
yeah,
YC
okay.
I'm not sure.
Yes, some kind
We had the map, but we
Right.
didn't want to
Mad
use two
being too
sheets.
big, yeah.
So if you have stuff to add, just email myself, Madison and Yutha.
Yeah.
We can add, but this is a start, and we have it, it's gonna be at the window, and hopefully some days when it's warm, we can come and Madison, I'll stand outside and give them out.
Yeah.
I'll join them.
Oh, and you,
Contact for, to get things on. the
Yeah.
kiosk. I know it always ends up coming back to you.
Send it to me. I can't share that information because it will be under the community board of, just an individual cannot submit requests. It has to be
Like, if you
that's
have
for
an
the
event in the community, you can submit for the kiosk to get 2 locations near your event. I do it all the time on the blog. Can do that. You have to go in, yes. There's a specific area in their site that's, you have to find the link and all that. But it's like community partner or something, right?
Can you share that with me so I can send it out?
Yeah, anybody can do it. I always do it. And, oh, by the way, September 2nd, come to my coffee culture series. if you
Send
wanna
us an
learn more
email.
about coffee.
Send us an email,
Send us
please.
On my blog,
motion to adjourn. Thank you, good meeting.
Good night. It was a fantastic meeting for the chair. It was the chair's first meeting. Great meeting.
Okay.
We covered a lot, I was trying to keep it short, but there's a lot to talk about.
It was.